Okay. I wanted to be able to tell you my story about me being a Christian and still struggling with depression and anxiety. And so I just wanted to start by saying you can be a Christian and still struggle. Just because you follow after Christ doesn't mean that life is going to be easy, but it is worth it. And I'm making this video to be an example of hope, because if he can do it in me, he can totally do it in you. And so this started when I was in elementary school. Every single year, first day of school, I had to get sent home because I was so anxious that I would throw up. This continued all the way up until middle school. And then my high school year, I was like, Charity, we're not doing this. Like, anxiety has no hold on you. Like, you gotta get better, sis. Like, you gotta do it. And that was like my last year of like getting sent home because your girl was anxious. But by my senior year in high school, I had so much on my plate. I was a leader at church. I was on the worship team. I was the president of my high school. I was in a relationship. I had things to do at home. And then my goal was to be able to graduate high school with my AA. All these things I excelled in. All of these things I did my best. I ended up graduating high school with my AA. Like, I conquered everything on my list. But deep down on the inside, your girl was struggling. And it didn't hit me until it started affecting my body physically. And so the way I was thinking in my mind was, I need to strive for perfection. I didn't want to show that on the outside, but on the inside, that's what I was dealing with. Like, I was anxious because I wanted to prove myself to people. I wanted to show people that I am worthy, I'm capable of being loved. And it began to make me feel, depressed, because I was trying to set a bar and an expectation of perfection when it's so unrealistic. And it was like that for so long that I just went into a spiral and became depressed. And it didn't hit me until I went to the doctor, because I started developing like lumps on my neck, and it scared me bad enough that I came out to my mom about it, and she like rushed me to the hospital, and I had to take blood tests. This happened in the senior year of my high school, from the month of November all the way until the next year in February. And I had to like quit my job. I had to like let go of certain responsibilities because it was really taking a toll on my health. And the doctor had me fill out this questionnaire, and it was just pretty much saying like, do you ever feel depressed? Do you ever feel suicidal? Like asking all these questions. And I had to be honest with myself. And I answered yes on a lot of them. And that's when I realized I need help. I can't do this on my own. I don't have to be perfect. But the honest truth was, it was hard for me to admit, how can I believe in such a great God, but I can't believe that he can do great things in me? How can I believe that he can do so much far greater in other people, but I couldn't believe that truth for myself? And once it started taking a toll on my health and then the relationships around me, that's when I was like, I need to ask for help. So for so long, for years, I suppressed it. For years, I didn't speak up, until it got to the point where I had no other choice but to ask for help. There were moments where I wasn't necessarily suicidal, but I would think if I didn't wake up in the morning, I'd be okay. If God decided to take me home in the middle of the night, it'd be that, and my life would be over, but I'd be okay. And it was hard. Feeling like I had to do everything on my own. I was surrounded by a bunch of people. I had a bunch of friends, but I still felt lonely. I just want to be honest and not try to hold this facade of me having everything together, because I don't. And I want to be transparent to let you know that there's hope. Lately, this last month, hearing so much about people being suicidal, and I would just break down. Seeing other people cry, walking past them, I would just break down, seeing how much people hurt and feel hopeless, knowing good and well I was in their shoes at one point, and seeing how much my life has changed now that I'm starting to change my thoughts and renew my mind, and being able to admit when I need help. I feel like sometimes as a Christian, it's so easy to like over spiritualize things and think that it's not okay to hurt. It's not okay to feel like you ain't got stuff together. But I'm a living example that it is okay and that it does get better and that there is hope at the end of the line. And if this video is going to be the video that helps one person realize that you're not alone, that you can do it, then that's what I'm making it for. And I just realized that I have such a deep passion to help people that are lost, but to also help people that are depressed, because it's a dark place. It's a dark place to be there and feel like you're alone in it. And I don't want a single person to feel that way about themselves, that it's the end, because it's not. This is just the beginning of your story. I just want to help people. And it just feels like I'm not qualified to talk about this. Like, when I was offered to take medicine to overcome depression, I opt out, and I felt like I could do it on my own. And so when I know that there are people going through this and they take that option, it just feels like, am I even qualified to speak on this? Yes, I've gone through it. And yes, it's like an everyday battle, having to not feel those feelings. And sometimes feeling like you can't control it. But I want to be the person that when people look at me, that they see hope. I want people to feel like if they don't have no one to talk to, that they can talk to me. Christian or not. Believer in God or not. And it's just been so hard to make this video because it just felt like what if people just don't connect to my story? Or I just really want to be an example in someone's life that when times go by and people think about me, that they think that, man, like, she loved me, she was intentional with me, she was honest with me, she was upfront with me. Like, I want to be the person that stands in the gap for somebody, that helps fight their battles, that just to show that they don't have to do it alone, because I know how hard it is to feel like you have to have it all together and you don't. I'm about to take these doggone lashes off. Sorry, but you don't have to have it together. You don't have to understand the feelings that you have. But I want you to know that you can keep going. And my biggest advice after going through all of this, lying and saying, when people would ask, are you okay? I'd be like, yes, I'm fine. But I wasn't. I think the biggest thing that helped me overcome it was realizing what I was going through. Because for so long I denied it. I didn't want it to be true. How could you be perfect and go through this? How could you be a Christian and go through this? But then I realized I need help. And when I realized I needed help, I knew that I couldn't keep it in and I had to speak up about it. And so I want to encourage you, if you've ever felt lonely and didn't know how to explain it, if you've ever felt super anxious or depressed, speak up. Because you think that no one would understand, you think that no one would be able to help, but by you speaking up, there's going to be somewhere there in your corner to help you. And if you need me to be that person for you, I will stand in the gap for you. I will talk to you. We can hang out. If you know who I am, like, we can hang out. If you just need someone to listen, I will listen. I will be there for you. I will encourage you. Woo! Chit, 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 chats for charity.